Wow. Welcome back, everyone. The last episode of the 25, recapping the 25 season, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Last year's in glory of the 2025 season. Wow.
What
Wow.
a season.
Yes, I think we have to be so grateful, whatever the outcome, whoever you support. Let's be so real. After the championships that we've had, where honestly Max just dominated immediately and stole it right away, like even last season it was like, oh, like will Lando be able to compete? No, like Max
Yeah.
won it in Las Vegas with a P5 in Vegas. Like that's how many points he had to mathematically win it so early. And that was late for him, you
Yeah.
know? And then to come to a season like this one where it looks like the Red Bull isn't anything. The McLaren was a rocket ship, absolutely. But then it was like, who's going to take it? Lando was strong. Then Oscar was really strong. Then Max reappeared. Then Oscar and Lando both reappeared. And it was like, to have a season that culminated in Abu Dhabi the way that it did, where the three title contenders were all P1, P2, P3 starting from qualifying. Like to be so close in points, that doesn't like feels like a not one hopefully not once in a lifetime. I hope to see more seasons like this. But like especially
I mean,
after
I don't for my blood pressure, personally.
my heart rate, sure, it's fine. But like it was just like so exciting. Like
It was.
in terms of entertainment value, it was very much gonna keep me absolutely hooked, whether I wanted to be or not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, like, we have to give all three of the drivers their flowers because they all held that battle until the end.
They
Um,
all, yeah, they all faced adversity in some point, right? Because Max
yeah.
started the season. Oscar also, like, I know we hate to talk about it. I know you guys hate to talk about it, but in Australia, like, he spun out, and that was the first race, and it sets a tone,
Yeah.
And I think the tone that he was able to set was the ability to come back from things.
Yeah.
And that was also Lando setting a really strong tone and then kind of falling off and recovering from that. Like, let's not forget Canada. He went
Mm,
right up Oscar's butt,
mm,
crashed, didn't
yeah.
finish. And Max was nowhere until he was somewhere. So like they've all had something to recover from, and it's the same, and it's also so unique for each driver at the same
Yeah.
time, which is really poetic.
They all have something to be proud of. And I don't think, as like shitty as it is for Oscar and Max, I think Max said it best where he was like, I don't have anything to be disappointed about. Like, we drove brilliantly.
Yeah, I think, yeah. We have to say it. Congratulations to Lando Norris for the World Drivers' Championship. He put in a lot of work. I know we've talked a lot about Papaya Rules and the role of McLaren in this, and as much as I think that is certainly a piece of involvement in this, like he also did win it. Like he also did when it came down to do what he needed to do in the car. Like he did a crazy double overtake today.
Yeah. Yeah. He
So
look, all of those drivers deserve the world championship. And it is amazing.
that's what's tough.
It's always going to be amazing seeing a driver win their first. So, like, props to Lando. I couldn't freaking do it. So,
No.
I'm glad that one of us did.
I know.
And, like, it was only last year that he got his first win. So, that's an insane trajectory. So,
Yeah. I think his skill has ramped up a lot. Obviously, we would be remiss not to mention Oscar in the same breath. It's his third season and he's competing.
Yeah.
Like I think that like him and Max, Oscar and Max are made of the same stuff. I feel like I think Max is the Yas Verstappen of it all, helps. And we know like Nicole Piastri has done interviews. Like she's a lovely, very kind and loving young woman. And I don't think that is the same brand that Oscar has, but I think that Oscar has that killer mentality. He's not afraid to play the waiting game like we saw in Miami. I remember distinctly. he was very patient racing Max and
Mm.
made the overtake stick because of that.
Mm.
So like
Yeah.
they have all raced each other like literally in like obviously on the track and not just in terms of points in the championship. And so it's just so interesting to see like what wins. And I know as much as McLaren has said that they don't prioritize a driver, I know a lot of people have said that it seems like they prioritize Lando. No, that's neither here nor there. I'm just
Mm.
saying the team picking you helps.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's true of McLaren and Lando, we see it with Max and Red Bull. You know,
Yeah.
we see it with the prioritized
Exactly.
drivers. We see it with number one car. If you get
Exactly.
prioritized by the team, like you're gonna get helped out.
Yeah. It's not that strategy of a number one driver or picking a driver is not exclusive to McLaren, and they are very vocal about trying to not do that. So,
Yeah. I will say, I know that's one thing that I brought up in the group chat a couple of times of like, it was tough to, so, because we got a lot of papaya rules. We got a lot of like, I saw like the garages aren't going to be sharing like telemetry information. Like they are like distinct entities. They'll get the
yeah.
radio because all the other teams get the radio and stuff like that. Obviously they share a pit box, but it was a little tough to have to swallow this unique pill that McLaren has been doing all season of we're not going to prioritize. We would
Mm-hmm.
rather, what did Zach Brown say? He's like, we'd rather lose it our way and Max win than win it another way, as in to prioritize a driver. And
Yeah.
then Abu Dhabi rolls around and Zach kind of flips his switch to what we've been asking for the whole time. So it's like, be careful what you wish for, because at this point I'm like, well, it's the last one. You might as well like stick to your guns.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they had anything particularly to do this round. It was frightening how long they left Oscar out. That one made me really nervous. They left
Yeah.
him out for a really long time. But I
Yeah.
don't think there was anything explicitly done to like boost one driver or another. Lando came in first. Maybe he had like a preferential, but they had split tire strategy. And it's
Yeah.
not like going
Lando was
super long
always
on the
going
hards
to pit
was
first.
that detrimental.
Yeah. Lando was always going to pit first because he was on the inters and he had a shorter pit window. So, like, that was always going to happen regardless of whether Oscar made that overtake or not. Lando was
Which
obviously
was
going to
awesome.
hitting first. If Oscar doesn't win overtake of the month for that, I'm never voting again.
Oh my God, no, on hards, what was it, on the outside?
On hards, on the outside.
He loves an overtake on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was huge respect. There were some, okay, that's the other thing I want to be real about. The race was kind of boring. Like, not a lot was going on. I'm obviously depressed watching Hamilton race Ocon in the back of the field. I'm like, let's just cut to someone in the front by themselves at this point. I don't really care. Yeah, so it was, I
Yeah.
mean, the race itself had the tension of the championship, which was very exciting because it all had to
Yes.
do with, everyone saying like, oh, like, what was it? Massa? No. Latifi, like, who's going to pull Latifi this
Yeah.
time? Like, who's going to be the safety car? RIP, we have no, and I hate to say it, Logan Sargent. We have no Logan Sargent to crash
Yeah.
the barriers. We
Well,
have
look,
no one, even Lance Stroll cleaned up his act and was performing really well. Didn't he finish top 10?
I think so. Look, when Norris came out of his first pit stop and he was into that DRS train with Leclerc and Russell, I genuinely thought that something was going to happen there because they had like four drivers that are not very reliable in a row. And I was like, what happens if one of these three fast cars try and make an
Yeah.
overtake and these four midfield cars try and defend, then just clip a wheel? Because we've seen it happen so many times. And so that stressed me out. Because it's not very often that, especially Merc or McLaren, will purposely pit and put them out into a DRS train.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still very confused why Mercedes pit George so early.
I feel like he was having issues.
But yeah. I think he was having issues. He had issues at the start. As well. I think they said he had pedal issues.
His brake was going long. That's right. He was like, help, please. Something's wrong. But yeah, that was what, for people who are rooting for Max and for Oscar, like what those folks needed was for Lando to finish fourth, fifth, sixth, or lower, you know? So to have like typical defense that might help, like George kind of out of the picture, and then I, again, clearly wearing Ferrari, hoped against hope that Charles could do something.
I think Charles could have done something. I think the Ferrari didn't allow
Couldn't.
him to.
Oh, Charles easily could have done something. And that's what I was arguing about this morning with someone. I was saying, like, they were like, oh, like, Charles is going to get out of the way. I was like, do you know why Max races Charles so respectfully?
Yeah.
Like, do you know why? It's because they'll kill each other if they don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, makes me hopeful. I mean, I've been excited about the 2026 regulations for a while. I'm starting to like look into it. I've been all up in the FIA website today. And part of it is looking at the 2026 regs, but I will also say there were some penalties that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, please enlighten us, because you
So
scrutinized the FIA website while Liv and I were taking a nap, essentially, because you slept for 4 hours. Not even.
yeah. Today's a nap kind of day for sure. But so we have Lando's in the DRS train and he gets to the front where I believe Yuki is. And you know, they come on the radio and they say you have to defend, and Yuki's like, I know what I have to do.
Leave
And
me
he's
alone.
like ready to square up, and he does, you know. He does, and it gets into a situation where he is moving not under braking. So I want to make that clear. It's not happening under braking.
No,
They are still accelerating.
It's on the straight.
Correct. The DRS straight. So it's long period of acceleration. Yuki is defending. And he closes the door. And Lando says, I'll go through the window. So Lando, in fact, goes all four wheels off the track. It is
Almost
technically
hits the barrier as well.
Yeah. It is technically off out of, you know, track limits. And what's interesting is the broadcast, F1 TV was saying, what were they saying? They were saying like, because there's like a strip of the boundary of the track, there's like a white line on the inside and a white line on the outside. And they're like, are they not calling it track limits because it's like the outside line? But you would think it's the inside white strip.
Yeah, but also, just looking back on that comment, right next to the second line is the barrier. So if they were using the second line as track limits,
You'd be in the wall.
You would be in the wall. You would not. There is not enough space to have
physically
all over that second white line. So it has to be the first line.
Yeah. So Lando goes all four wheels off the track and overtakes Yuki off the track. And then there are two penalties that are then investigated. So the first is, I believe it's moving erratically or something. I sent a picture of it in the group chat, but it was something about like moving erratically or like forcing another driver off the track.
Yeah,
Therefore,
I think that's right.
Because Yuki gets the penalty from forcing a driver off the track, which F1 TV broadcast says was, quote, harsh. 5 seconds, penalty point. Then, because Lando went off, they called it due to that. Therefore, his track limits overtaking off the track is null and void, and he gets to keep the position. So, they sent out a couple more, like driving erratically, moving erratically type penalties. To be fair, Liam Lawson got one, which checks out.
That happens.
But yes, it's the more than one change of direction, which is just, I want someone to explain to me. This is an invitation to be mansplained to me. Please explain to me what is the difference between defending while accelerating versus more than one change of direction? Is defense only in one direction? Are you only allowed to defend in one direction, and then if the driver behind you changes directions, you then can't defend that way?
Yeah, because if that's the case, then why is the driver behind allowed to change direction multiple times?
Right.
And the defending driver is not.
Yeah, so that's the only thing where I'm like, that it's just like it's a little hard for me to wrap my mind around. And that's the other thing that they were saying too, with like Yuki getting the penalty and Lando not, because at first I was like, then both drivers should just get penalties.
Yeah.
Like if you're getting pushed off the track, back out.
Yeah.
Obviously they're
Exactly.
racing drivers. They don't want to do that.
Exactly. No, but like
Give the position back, take it
it
again.
was
You're in the
actually
McLaren, you
very
can do that.
similar. It was actually very similar to what happened in Canada with Oscar. Like he went down the inside when Oscar closed the door, and Lando got sandwiched between. Actually, maybe it wasn't Canada. That was no, I don't think it was. But Lando got sandwiched between the barrier and Oscar, and his whole wing, like his whole front wing, just like popped off because he got yeah.
Yeah.
But like it was literally almost a repeat of that exact thing.
Yeah. So that was the only thing where like, please someone explain to me
Yeah.
the concept behind that, because it's just like a little tough for me to wrap my mind around. But it seems like that was something that the marshals or the FIA was really looking out for, because there were multiple penalties for that. And they gave the same penalty of at least 1 point, I believe, because obviously if they were given the penalty after, like, what's a 5-second penalty going to do? Like, you have to wait 5 seconds after the lights go out to start the first race of the next season under new regulations. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I think the penalty points will, obviously they'll stick around, and I think those are still handed out. So that's the only thing where like that was exciting during the race. Oscar's overtake was exciting during the race. Otherwise,
Charles at the beginning was very exciting as well. Like he showed some
up.
really strong pace. He made an overtake on George quite quickly. He was
fighting with Fernando. Fernando was
yeah.
Great weekend.
Yeah, he was going for Alonso, and you know kept Alonso off while also gaining on Lando as well. So yeah, I feel like you know this Ferrari, it's not
fast.
No, like I think it's good on very fresh tires. I think that's when it
and
is.
And straight line speed. It's been decent with that.
Yeah, and like we know that Charles is good on Abu Dhabi. We know that he likes it. But yeah, from maybe lap 1 to lap 4, he was killing it. And then after his pit stop, he was getting on Lando for like 4 laps. But yeah, as soon as they kind of get past that stint in the tyres and it becomes about tyre management, that's when we really see the issues of the car.
Yeah.
Not the issues, but like the lack of competitiveness.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, you know, and it's something. So, okay. And one thing I want to do also is I want to just go through the list of, now that the season's over, FIA has released all the documents it's going to release by now. They did their scrutineering after, and I was like, ooh, who did they check? Obviously, they checked the top 3 cars, for like, they checked the plank wear, the weight, the fuel, whatever. Like, they checked everything on Max, Lando, and Oscar's cars. So, like, some people were like, and then what if there's another McLaren double DQ? And I'd like, that would be crazy that they didn't learn from the first one. Like, that just happened. That's pretty bad. So they did learn. It's interesting because McLaren has been saying a lot, like when they do make, like when they made the mistake with, and honestly, that's just straight up what it was. It wasn't like just like a difference in opinion. When they made the mistake on the pit for Qatar, like they were like, we're gonna learn from this.
Wait, when they made the mistake on the pit,
they stayed out instead of pitting during the safety car.
Yes.
Yeah, so just like strategy calls and just like learning from mistakes in the past. Like it seems like they really are picking that kind of stuff up. But yeah, so the 2025 driver standings end with obviously Lando as our champion of 2025. Very exciting. I do wish he would put his hat all the way down on his head. I don't like the like floating hat situation that sometimes young men will do. I'm not a fan. Please just
an ick for Soph.
Just all the way.
If you're listening, congrats. Please.
Your head's not up here. I don't like it. It's like it's propped up on something in there. And I just, well, anyways. So Lando's champion of the world. Very exciting. 423 points. In second, obviously Max took second from Oscar. He's 2 points behind with 421 points. Would have been funny if it was 420. Alas, we're off by 1. Oscar in third, 410, and then it goes Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Antonelli, Albon above of Sainz despite the two podiums.
Oh.
And they are 9 points away from each other.
I mean, Carlos did.
So Albon is at 73, Sainz is at 64. Then is Alonso, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, tied with Hulkenberg at 51 points. Ollie Behrman is behind them. Then Liam Lawson and Ocon are tied for 38 points, 14th and 15th. Stroll and Yuki are tied at 33 points, which is actually kind of funny because that was Max's old number, huh?
Mm.
And then Pierre 22, Bortoletto 19, and then RIP tied for last, Franco Colapinto and Jack Doohan, who hasn't raced in more than 2 or 3 races, 0 points.
How ironic. I'm actually surprised that Carlos is behind Albon in the end.
Right.
However, he did have a very rough start.
And the middle was
quite a few DNFs.
The beginning and the middle were kind of low, and then he kind of got his momentum and figured it out.
It was after Sparkles came in, you know?
Yeah. The highs were higher for sure, but there was less consistency in the middle. And there were some power unit issues because they have the Mercedes power unit, don't they?
Yeah.
So they had that reliability issue throughout probably, I think, like the middle-ish of the season, maybe just before the summer break, I remember. So, and then team standings. Obviously, we know McLaren won the Constructors' Championship a million years ago with 833 points by the end of it. And then second, Mercedes with 469.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then not devastatingly, great if you're a Red Bull fan, then Red Bull in third with 451 points. So what's that, a difference of 18? And then in fourth, Ferrari. So Ferrari had been fighting with Mercedes for P2 in the Constructors, fumbled hard.
Yeah, sadly they did.
And then followed with just under half of those points. So Ferrari has 398. Williams with 137 is in P5. And then it goes VCarb, Aston, Haas, Sauber, and Alpine. Alpine only has 22 points as a team. And they're all scored by Pierre.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Great result for VCarb though.
Yeah, P6 is great. I am very sad that we're not going to get more Liam and Isaac content. They won't be teammates anymore.
Yeah.
Have we talked about that? We've talked about that, surely.
I don't think we have, unless you guys talked about it last week. Because I didn't film.
I don't know. I literally can't remember.
But if we haven't spoken about it, or if you are unaware, Yuki will not be on the grid next year. This was his last race. Which is actually very, very sad. But I do hope that he can open his sushi restaurant now. That's what I'm praying for. That he gets the dream of opening his own restaurant. But yeah, so Yuki has been dropped by Red Bull, sadly. Well, not renewed. Isaac Hadjar is going into the Red Bull second seat as of next year. And then Arvid Lindblad is stepping up to accompany Liam Lawson in the VCarb, which is amazing.
And I think that's the right move.
I think we all saw it coming. I don't think it was a surprise to anyone.
Oh my gosh, no. All of the memes I saw were that one clip from Friends where it's like, oh, like so-and-so's pregnant, like with my baby, and it's Phoebe and Joey saying like, oh my God, this is the first I'm hearing of this. Like all of the rumors hadn't been like for months. Arvid Lindblad's going to be in F1. It's going to be VCarb. And then Isaac's going to get the promotion. Yeah. And then they had the media pen interviews where Yuki was like, yes, I know about my future, but I'm not at liberty to discuss.
Yeah.
And Isaac was like, I can't tell you yet, but I'll tell you soon.
Look, it was as concrete as when we knew that Danny was leaving. As sad as that is for me to say.
I was in hardcore denial for that. I was like, no. Why would they release denim for Singapore? That makes no sense. Why didn't they save it for Austin next weekend? Denial.
Look, as a Ferrari fan, you're used to being a little bit in denial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, anyway, Danny, I miss you.
We love you. We
Last
miss
night,
you.
actually, we were talking because as of next year, Max is going to have to, he's not going to race with the number one anymore. I don't think that Lando is going to change to number one purely because LN4 is like his brand. That is
Yeah.
like his brand. I don't think that Lando's going to change his number. However, Max is not going to be allowed to race with the number one. So there's been a
Right.
lot of talk for the last couple of races what number he's going to go to. The options at the moment are back to 33, which is his original number, 3, which is what Danny had, or Rogue 69.
I
Or
think that would be so funny.
169.
I think he shouldn't listen to his dad, and I think he should do 69. But,
I
well, because it's so interesting because the rule used to be you have one number, and that's like the number that you have for your career in Formula One.
Yeah,
Unless you win, that's your number. And that's
yeah,
a recent rule change where they've gotten to switch them. Because one thing, so my lucky number is 7, and that was Kimi Raikkonen's number. And Kimi Raikkonen was still in F1 when Charles Leclerc joined. Otherwise,
yeah.
Charles Leclerc would have had the number 7, which would have been beautiful and perfect
And he
because
couldn't 17 because Jules.
mm,
Was Jules 17 or 15? No, I think
I
he was
don't know.
17. I think 15 was the date. I feel.
But yeah, so 7 was taken, so he went with 16,
16.
obviously, is the number
Mm.
that we know and love with Charles Leclerc. Um, so yeah, it would open up this door to like switch up the numbers. And obviously I don't think you should be able to switch it every time because then how the heck am I ever supposed to remember? For me specifically, they shouldn't change them constantly. But I don't know what the rules are on like how often you're allowed to change or under what, like for what reasons or whatever.
Mm.
What would your number be?
Either 6 or 11.
Okay, why?
Well, 6 was my like lucky number growing up. So
Yeah.
I would always see the same fire truck driving around with the number 6 on it. And like it
Nice.
came and visited our school. And like every time I passed a fire truck in the street, it was always number 6. So I was like, oh,
Oh my
lucky number
gosh.
6, like whatever. And then when I first started watching soccer and I was
Mm.
following FC Barcelona, Neymar Jr. was my right
Barca?
back. And yeah, let's hear my
No.
heart.
Madrid.
Oh, please. No, I can't stand Ronaldo. And that's who was there when I joined. So anyway, this is not a soccer podcast.
Not
But yeah,
yet. Just
Neymar
kidding.
was my guy, and he was Neymar
Mm.
11. And then so
Okay.
I adopted 11 as like my sport number after that.
Mm.
But then
That's so
when I
funny.
came into F1, it was Perez, and I was like, well,
Oh.
and then I was like, but Charles is 1-6, so that works.
Oh yeah, that's
Now I'm an
perfect.
Oscar, so it's fine.
Yeah. It's so funny the like significance that just like it's just a number. Like anybody else you go up and you're like OP81 and they're like, okay, like is this your bank pin? Like what? Or like LN4 or MV33, like they don't mean anything.
Yeah,
It's like I was like it's giving the code on the back of the credit card is like the
yeah,
abbreviations.
literally.
CS55,
Yeah,
like that's gonna let you hack my credit card, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But it's just yeah, it'd be so interesting to see if they change their numbers, but it'll be definitely interesting to see if Max goes back to 33 or not. I'm kind of attached to MV33.
Well, you
Well,
know
whenever I
what's
make my
funny?
posts, I'll like
Um,
tag the short names. And then what about all the hashtags, you know?
yeah, exactly. What would your number be?
I've thought about it a lot because my lucky number, like I said, is 7. So if 7 was not occupied, I would take that. But my volleyball number in middle school was 74. So I
Okay.
obviously this year did not beat the Williams fan allegations, right? And instead, and so you can on the Williams app, this is not sponsored by the way. On the Williams app, you can make a little driver card where you get to like pick your helmet, and actually at the fan zone in Vegas, they had a bunch of NFC tags, and you could get like little badges. It was like a little scavenger hunt. It was actually so cool. I really
Yeah.
appreciate the like effort they put into the
Yeah.
fan
They had
zone.
that in Melbourne too, and it was really cool.
Yeah, it was so fun. And so you could
Yeah.
like scan it with the app, the NFC tag. Um, and so on there I have my little helmet, my background, and my number 74, which was my volleyball number in middle school. And it
Yeah.
was just because it was one of the jerseys that fit me, and it had a 7 on it. And so I
Mm.
just was like, all right, 74.
Yeah.
Which added together adds to 11. So meant to be.
Which one?
7 and 4 add to 11 for your 11.
Oh, yes. So if I'm on 4 hours sleep and I don't do maths
Yeah.
on a good day.
No, it's okay. I just finished my like 3rd cup of coffee today. I just like I had to brew another pot in the middle of the day because I was just like can't.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say something before and I forgot. What else? So this was also the last race with DRS. Sadly, we didn't have Jensen in the car this last night or today.
Yeah.
Hopefully he might be there at postseason testing, and
We'll
maybe
see.
someone will just let him sit in the car and press the button.
I know. Okay, because I love this bit that Jensen was the first driver to press the DRS button, right? Love.
Yeah.
First of all, love Jensen button. But the first driver to press it, the last okay, so the first driver to press it's Jensen button. The last drivers to press and do an overtake with DRS were Kimi Antonelli was the last driver to press the button, and Lance Stroll was the last driver to do an overtake with DRS, which is nuts. Because also, just thinking about like, Adrian Newey moving into team principalship of Aston, and he apparently has always wanted to have a little bit more control and say in like the drivers. And like it's a no-brainer to have Alonso on your team, especially with the experience and like the just like willingness to be a winner, basically, of like do anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know how he feels about Lance Stroll and it, with Lawrence Stroll selling like a stake in the team and stuff like that, it just calls into question like, are we gonna see like Lance Stroll kind of phase out in the next couple of years or not, or just not get renewed next time? Well, his contract is always like, and then he will be with us for more years, and we're like, obviously Lawrence owns the team, like,
Of course, yeah.
so now that it's kind of like he's kind of seems like he's taking a step back, I'm curious to know what that will look like. So those were the last drivers, and we get to welcome Mom. I was researching it earlier. Manual override mode. It's just like electric turbo, apparently.
Yeah. He's gonna press her mom.
It's gonna be I can't wait to hear the broadcasters talk about it.
Because you know that they're gonna say it like DRS. Like we don't say DRS. They're going to say MOM.
Well, but DRS also doesn't lend itself to be pronounced.
I would like them to say,
Mom.
"Oh, he's gaining on Lando with his mom."
Oh my god, it's gonna be so good. If anything, you know what? We can have a moment of silence and pay our respects to DRS because obviously it deserved it. I will miss seeing the little flap go down. Yeah. But it's so interesting because it's similar to, I don't know that much about Formula E. Also, if you know anything about Formula E, tell us about it. But Formula E has what I believe is called attack mode, which I think is a sick name for something. Of like, oh, he's using attack mode, which basically gives them more power. Because obviously it's not gas, it's Formula E for electric, right? We're all on the same page now. It felt redundant, but
We've got the basics down.
So it just like gives them more power to overtake, and they have to use it a certain number of times, I think, in Formula E. I don't think the same will be true, but I think that the 1 second rule will hold of you have to be within a second to deploy Mom. So it'll just be so interesting. I'm trying to do some research before the start of 2026 to see exactly what's changing outside of like the cars are smaller, 30 kgs lighter, which is nuts. So yeah, we'll do an episode on it when we get closer to the start of the season, but lots to look forward to, lots to look back on, to be completely honest, because it was
I think we'll do a big
Like,
an episode on a big recap for the whole season.
yeah,
Um,
we'll have to pick like our favorite races and our top moments and
yeah,
stuff.
that
Best
would
radio
be,
of the season.
yeah. Oh, also, Max won driver of the day.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not mad about it. I also don't know who it would. No one really. I mean, I would vote Oscar, or Charles because they both drove, or Alonso. Oscar, Charles, or Alonso would be my votes for
Yeah.
driver of the day, because they all drove very aggressively. Um,
Mm-hmm.
in the machinery that they had for Charles and Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, Max P1 to P1, but he also came back and fought for the championship. So like, props to him. Congrats on driving
Mm-hmm.
today. At least you walk out with something. Um,
Yeah, it was, and you know, post race, we haven't talked about a lot. So, post race, they cut to GP, Max's radio engineer, and
yeah,
he is just like, the cameras are always on the side, and he is just like not locking in with like, he knows he's on broadcast television, and I
yeah.
think he was having a really tough emotional moment. And I saw some comment somewhere. I don't know if you guys sent it to me or one of you said it, but someone said, I hope he doesn't blame himself
Hmm.
to
Mm.
GP. And I was just like, God, he better not. And like, there was someone saying that he'd like had a really tough year.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
he
because he
missed
took
his
some
first
time
race
off.
ever.
Yeah, he took some time off because I think there were family or like personal things. So I think he did have a bit of a bigger year than just F1.
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, I'll say like whenever, like as someone who's experienced like really close loss, whenever something bad happens, all of those like sad and negative feelings are like interwebbed, tied together. So like it opens a door to a room where there's a lot of other stuff. So who knows, you know, what
yeah,
he kind of had going on and what he was holding in his heart and in his chest and all that.
yeah.
But you
But
know,
I hope
they're
it
one of my
doesn't.
favorite pairs, like driver
Yes,
and engineer.
the married couple. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
no, but
they
I
love to
think
bicker and gossip.
yeah, I think that the people that are around GP will ensure that he doesn't feel like it's his fault, especially Max. Like, I think that considering that Max came on the radio and said, I am not
Not disappointed.
disappointed, that
Mm-hmm.
I think will help GP process the end result because
Yeah.
ultimately at the end of the day, yes, they came back, but also they were in that title fight because McLaren had internal issues between the two drivers and like fumbled the bag for the later half of the season and like Max just capitalized on those mistakes. Max and Red Bull capitalized on those mistakes. So like
Yeah, well, and and that's such an
right place,
interesting
right
thing too
time.
as like teams of like I know I've said this before and I know that I brought up that it was like Gunter Steiner who said this, but of like McLaren, it's like it called into question whether McLaren is ready to be a winning team yet because of the way that they behaved this season. And like I think they're learning, but it's not a
Yeah.
really great time to be learning when you were actively in a title fight with both of your drivers. Like that management learning should have come in lower stakes
Yeah.
in general. And
A
so it's like
creator.
Red Bull is a team that has won and knows how to win. And
Yeah.
McLaren is learning that. And I don't want to say that they won in spite of that, but it definitely didn't help them win all of these management, you
Mm,
know, just like obstacles that they had to meet and understand and overcome.
mm. I saw another creator that I follow. I think it was after Vegas, or maybe Brazil. I don't know. Um, she reshared a few things to her story about McLaren and said if they hadn't already won the constructors, I would have said that they didn't deserve it because of how they've been acting. And I was
That's
like,
tough.
that is a very bold statement to make.
Yes. Yes, it sure
Um,
is.
but then also post race, we had Lewis on the radio with Ricky that
Yeah.
said there was a pretty interesting conversation between the both of them. I didn't hear it live, but from the picture, I think, Soph, that you sent, Lewis had asked Ricky something and there was silence. And Lewis was like, did you hear that? Like, I expected you to respond or
He did
something
the
like
same
that.
thing to Carlos last season.
Yes,
He
he
goes, Ricky, are
did.
these new inters? And then there's like the like clip that F1 shared that was like, haha, funny, was like abridged. There's
Yeah,
like a long dead silence before Carlos went back on the radio and went, hello.
yeah, yeah. Um, and so yeah, Lewis went back on the radio and said, like, hello, did you hear me? Like, I expected a response, sort of thing. And Ricky came back and said, sorry, Lewis, we were talking. And then he went into his response, which I don't remember what it was, but I can't remember if it was Ricky or if it was Hamilton that said, it's been lovely, or it's been great to work with you. I think it was Ricky. Ricky said that, and then Hamilton said, I will always fight for you guys. Or I will keep fighting.
And that's one thing that was tough to watch this season of like it's Lewis Hamilton, 7-time, arguably 8, depending on who you ask, world champion, like one of like the GOAT, I would say, is the last regulation set. That's one stat that I saw, like if Max had won, he would have been the only driver to win in this regulation set, which is nuts.
That would have actually been just the cherry on top.
Yeah. I don't think there's any question in the fact that Max is the GOAT of this cohort. Like if Max is racing, he's going to be winning. He is going to be competing regardless of the machinery, honestly. The way that Lewis was the GOAT for like, they're overlapping obviously, but I think Lewis's GOAT, era was a little bit before.
Yeah. Agreed.
So it's tough seeing.
Everyone was GOAT before, like Schumacher, Sebastian.
Exactly.
Alonso.
No, you have your times, and you have like
they were all the GOATs of their
time periods. Yeah. And so now that we're phasing into Max, phasing into who knows who's coming next, it's tough to see, like it's just like tough seeing your favorite athletes show signs of like age, probably also of like, sure. Listen, I wear this and my heart's in it. The Ferrari's really slow, and that's painful to watch.
Yeah, it is. It makes it hard to want to give them your emotion because it's like it's not a lot of ROI at the moment.
Sure isn't. So it's just like tough to see like in a team with so much legacy that you want to be successful, and like, yes, we finished top 4 in the constructors and we should have finished first, if not second, with the driver lineup.
Yeah.
But it's tough to see like it's just like the machinery is failing him. Like it's a team sport and it's not all the driver and it's not all the team. It's both. It's some of both, and that's non-negotiable. Like that's just the reality.
Yeah.
But are they being more hindered by the machinery than they are by their own driving? Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's tough.
Definitely. But I am very excited to see the grid for next year because everyone's going to be starting from zero.
Scratch.
And we really don't know who it's going to... We could have bloody Williams in a top 3 every single bloody race.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know.
Oh my God, I almost fell over.
Well, maybe don't do that.
Sorry. There's no back on this chair.
But that's what's exciting about next year is like it's something completely different.
Sorry, I was just like, I get to hope again.
Hope. I felt like I was at like therapy or something.
Can I say one thing that's like outdated and like been talked about? Can we talk about the Audi livery really quick? What's your take?
Boring.
No, I like it.
Oh.
I know.
Well, to be fair, like they haven't shown it. They've just shown it blank. Like obviously they don't have all
there's no sponsors
on there. So like it always looks a little bit like naked. Like a dog without a collar.
Naked. Yeah,
Yeah, like I just think it's I don't like the boring colours, guys. Pick some colour. Why are we going red, black and grey? Like,
well,
We have
Audi,
two. We have
Haas, Cadillac.
exactly. We already have two cars on the grid that have red in their color scheme, and we're about to get two more that have black in their color scheme. So let's not.
Do something
And
else.
and you literally,
And another thing.
literally have a highlighter green car at the moment, and you're going to drop that for some Haas wannabe. Lame. I know that they're following their liveries from like WEC and the other series that they race in. Like, I get it. Branding. Well, but like, boring.
Yeah, no. I think in the 80s, especially 80s and 90s, there was like a lot of color, like when Eddie Jordan, who rest in peace, passed away this year, he had like 7 Up as a sponsor and was like, and then we'll make the car green. And we'll just make the car green one year.
Yeah, see, I love that. Really play into it.
Yeah, Renault was yellow, Alpine is pink. Like, we can do the whole Roy G. Biv, the whole rainbow.
I miss the black and yellow Renault, to be honest.
It was easy to recognize. I didn't have to wear my glasses to see it.
Yeah. You know? Look, most of the cars on the grid do have a good color option.
Yeah.
But there are some where I'm like, bleh. But we can do, I'm sure that when all the liveries get announced for next year, we will do like a ranking, like review.
I'll share my screen again, don't worry.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I mean, I think that essentially wraps up Abu Dhabi. Oh, actually, no donuts. Once again, for the multiple year in a row, I don't know how many years it's been now, none of the drivers were allowed to do donuts.
Lando didn't listen, which, like, fair. Like, he just won his first championship. Absolutely. Like, let him do a donut.
What are you going to do? Like, what are they going to do? So I'm glad that Lando did actually do donuts because he deserved it. I wish that Yuki did some donuts for his very last race. I feel like it should be written in the regulations that if it is your last career race for the foreseeable future, you should be able to do donuts.
Well, and here's something I'll say about Yuki is I'll say drivers have come back from being reserve.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, we're seeing Perez rejoin the grid next year. Perez and Valtteri join.
Here's my theory. With Adrian Newey in Aston with Honda engine, Lance Stroll will get phased out, Yuki will get phased in.
But that's a very likely possibility, yeah.
You heard it here first.
We're putting our tinfoil hats on right now.
Yeah, manifesting, lighting candles, burning sage.
Yeah.
For Yuki.
Yep. But yeah, I think that is actually the season done.
Yeah, it's over, and as much as I'm like, oh, I'll get to sleep in, I won't. I watch Premier League, so my weekend mornings will be occupied. It was terrible. Well, okay, so I think you all can guess, was rooting for Oscar or Max. It's very exciting to get your first WDC, but like it would have been insane for in your third season to win the whole Drivers' Championship, or to be literally the only driver to win in a regulation set.
Yeah, that's
bananas. Bananas. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that's the other piece. I know we're like keep trying to wrap up the episode and I keep thinking of things to say. But that's the other piece of like Schumacher 1 and 2 regulation sets, Lewis 1 and 2 regulation sets, and Max needs to now do it in another one to be like on the same level, although I think that's kind of
I don't mean to divert. However, Liv has just messaged the group chat and said GP is supposedly stepping down from Max's race engineer.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on whether anything comes out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he was also crying.
Because it's a lot going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Who didn't cry this morning? I did.
Oh,
There were a lot of feelings.
we're just, they're big feelings. I haven't touched grass yet, but I do need to.
It's just, yeah, see the sun, perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do a full recap of the season. We will look into the 2026 regulations as well so that me specifically, like I just need to research them so that I understand them and then we'll get an episode out of it.
Mm.
But yeah, what a season. Like even if it wasn't your driver who won, I think we have to be so thankful that we had such an exciting time. Like things like this don't
Yeah.
happen often, especially after so many years of Max dominance, which like good for him and for Red Bull for making it boring. Like that's really
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah. No,
excitement's fun.
but, yeah, I think that we can't deny that this was a nail biting season from beginning to end.
Absolutely.
Regardless of who you support, you can appreciate that this was a insane battle. We literally had the freaking plot line of Cars this season.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it
And
did go the way of Cars.
I think it was Fast and the Curious, maybe. They're British. And they were like answering questions of like, what do you do to like not be so nervous during lap one? And what they said was like, it was basically Daniel Ricciardo enjoy the butterflies. Like you care about this,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that sport does is like brings people together that wouldn't ordinarily be together to rally behind the sport or a team or a driver or a single person. But like in this case, I think the sport, the beginning is electric. Lights out is electric. There's no taking that away. And I think that that's exactly right. Like it's okay to be nervous and get butterflies during lap one, turn one. That's the part of the fun.
Yeah. That's
So
literally
we got a lot of that. And I'm thankful for that this season.
I am as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of it, We did Abu Dhabi. Who cares about practice? Lando Norris won the championship. We had Max and Oscar behind. They drove one hell of a season.
Yeah.
And now it's over.
All the way to the end. All the way to the end. They did not just like give up at the last race.
Not once.
And I am very glad that we got no papaya rules in the last race because that is what everyone was worried about after Zach's comment in the media.
Yeah.
But we'll still have some episodes coming out over the summer break. Some fun ones, updates for next year, season recap. We have
hopefully
to do
some interviews.
Ranking.
If anybody emails me back,
everyone reply to us.
I'm gonna start like DMing, like, hey, can you please respond to my email?
Message them on Teams.
Oh, just post them a letter. That'd be creepy though. No, I cut out letters in magazine because it's better than my handwriting. It's not a ransom letter.
Oh boy.
I won't be mailing anybody anything, I promise. Just email.
Boy. Thank God. Yeah, and we have to also review all of the Pirelli hats for the season. We have to do our final ranking of those.
Check in on our bingo.
Yep. So yeah, there's some fun stuff coming. We'll keep you guys entertained over the summer break, and it is less than 100 days until the Oz GP. In between now and then, we will have post-season testing, we'll have pre-season testing, we'll have livery reveals. It's all happening. No rest for the wicked.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yeah. So stay tuned. But Lando fans, enjoy your ride this high, enjoy your life. Go have fun in the sun. Everyone else,
we'll be back to square one.
A big group collective hug, and we will be okay because this is just a sport that none of us are actually in at the end of the day. So,
I'm not actually in any of the cars. I wish. Could you imagine? I don't think I'd do
the amount of anxiety I felt. It felt like I was driving the World DC myself. So,
yeah.
Props to all three of them for keeping their cool. Yeah. Anyway, for the last time of 25, that's your race recap.
Bye.
Bye.